Adam here from the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is compare a couple of Nissan models. Now on the one side we have the larger Nissan Pathfinder, and on the other side we have the smaller Nissan Rogue. So we'll look at the exterior, some of the stuff inside, and see which one might just be perfect for you. Let's start by looking at the Nissan Pathfinder. Now, like I said, this is the 2024, and this is the SL four-wheel drive. So that Nissan Rogue is going to be an all-wheel drive, where this is an intelligent four-wheel drive system. It's got selectable drive and terrain modes, and most of the time it's going to be in front-wheel drive to help you get the best possible fuel economy. And then when needed, the four-wheel drive system will kick in and help you out in a pinch. So what does it mean as far as the engine, transmission, and fuel economy is concerned? All Pathfinders are going to have a 3.5-liter six-cylinder, and that's going to be paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, fuel economy is going to be a little bit less than Nissan Rogue, as this is about 23 combined, or maybe 27 on the highway when we're looking at the 4x4 model. So some pretty cool things on this particular one. This does have the black appearance package, so you add the cool black emblems to the back, and this does have the premium red paint, which out here in the sunlight kind of has a metallic look to it, and Nissan's always had really good colors, and this one is no exception. Now, as far as wheels and tires go, there is a few different options, whether you're looking at the S, SV, SL, or the Rock Creek, which is going to be the off-road focused one, but this one does get the 18-inch wheels with plenty of sidewall, so that's going to help you avoid some of those potholes, some of that rattliness that you get with a little bit of a larger wheel sometimes. So I think there's a good balance of wheel and tire, and the style does look really good as well. Plus, you're going to have the LED headlights as well. Out back, you are going to get LED taillights as well. Now this one will get a power liftgate, and if we're looking at storage, there's actually an underfloor storage compartment in the back, and with the third row up, you are going to still have quite a bit of cargo space. Now that's going to be one of the biggest differences between the Pathfinder and the Rogue, is the Pathfinder is going to come standard with the third row. Now that's obviously foldable, so if you need a little bit of extra space, you can kick that down, and you can also fold the second row, so it does give you plenty of cargo room as well. Now the second row does kick and slide, but before we hop in to look at that, we're going to take a look at that Nissan Rogue. Now 2024 for the Nissan Rogue was a refresh year, so this is going to look a little bit different than the 23 model. You'll notice up front on this SL all-wheel drive, you're going to get that cool chrome grille, and then in the back of the vehicle they also did a little bit of a refresh there. Now, a lot of the really good stuff is going to be inside, but as far as the exterior goes on the SL, like I said, this one's an all-wheel drive model. So a little bit different than the selectable four-wheel drive, but there is still going to be some drive modes on this model, but fuel economy is going to be a little bit better when comparing it with the Pathfinder. Now, this is a 1.5 turbocharged 3-cylinder engine, which seems a little bit different than maybe you're used to, but I found it to be, more than enough to get you up into traffic and to help you get 34 mpg on the highway. That means you're going to get 31 combined compared to 23 combined when looking at the Pathfinder. Yes, this is a smaller vehicle with a smaller turbocharged engine, so obviously efficiency is going to be a bigger win for this one. So now as far as the exterior styling, this blue color also looks amazing out here in the sunlight. Plus, this one's going to ride on the 19-inch wheels, and I did notice there is a good amount of sidewall, and when I drove one of these last week, I was pretty impressed at just how quiet it is inside. Now this model does also have a premium package, so there's going to be a lot of goodies added in, panoramic sunroof. This is also going to have the foot swipe in the back so you can open the power liftgate, so there's a lot of good stuff added with that package. Now, one thing you'll notice with the Pathfinder, that one is going to have the roof rack with the cross rails up above. This one does have the bars for it, so if you want to throw a roof box or maybe the mountain bikes up above, you can certainly do that on both models. Now, they're going to be great city vehicles, they're going to be great for a long cabin weekend or maybe going out to a campsite, as both are four-wheel drive and give you a lot of cargo space. This model does have kind of a changeable floor in the back, so you can set the height, and it's going to have 60-40 split rear seats. Again, this is not a third row, this is only a two-row SUV, which gives you seating for 5, but I did notice a lot of cargo room in the back. It's pretty impressive just how much room you do get out of the Nissan Rogue. So let's hop back over to the Pathfinder. We'll check out the second row. All right, so hopping into the Pathfinder here, obviously, like I said, with the third row, this is quite a bit larger vehicle. I've got a lot of knee room here. I have plenty of headspace up above. You've got your vent and your light up here, and then you're also gonna have a third zone climate control because you do get dual climate control up front, and then you're gonna get a couple of USB chargers down here as well in the third row. There's also a USB charger on the one side. Now, what's cool about these seats, the backrests, you can move those to get comfortable. You can actually pull this little handle. So if I need to slide more and someone in the third row needs a little bit of extra leg room, That's a pretty convenient feature there. But there's also a button on the side as well as on the backrest. So when the third row is ready to get out, you just click that button, it kicks and slides it forward, and it makes it pretty convenient. Now these will also have the window shades, so if you got the kiddos back here, you can pull those up to keep the sun out of their eyes, and you have 4 cup holders pretty much at each door, which also is nice so everybody can bring their stuff along. As well, you are gonna have cup holders in the third row too. So overall, we've got a lot of space in here, but let's hop back over to the Rogue. We'll check out that second row. All right, so now into the Rogue second row. I had the seat a little bit further back where I would be driving, so knee space obviously is gonna be a little bit less, but headroom is about the same. This one also gets the panoramic sunroof in here, and that is a game changer. That's part of that premium package. It really opens it up, especially with the darker interior. And as a second row passenger, that is something I would want, whether I was a little kid or an adult riding in the back, or when you're driving, it does make it pretty light in here and make a pretty big difference. Now this one also gets a temperature select back here as well as 2 USB-C chargers, so everyone can keep their devices up when you're on the go, and you will also keep those window screens for the kiddos. Now these backrests you can also recline and move forward, and you can pretty much fold them flat, so you do get a huge cargo area like I said. So cargo space almost seems the same when looking at it, but obviously the Pathfinder is going to give you more. But just at a quick glance, with the seats all the way down and pretty much a flat surface in here, it's pretty cool if you did need to haul any stuff around. But overall, knee space is going to be a little bit less than the Pathfinder, but if you're putting 4 adults or 5 adults in here, I think for a trip around, everybody will be comfortable. So one last thing to note, the passenger door for the Rogue opens at pretty much a straight 90 degrees. So if you've got car seats you're putting in the vehicle, the Pathfinder is pretty good, but it's not a full 90 like these open, and it does make a pretty big difference. But let's hop back over to the Pathfinder. We'll check out the driver's seat. All right, so we're in the SL Pathfinder again here. Why am I holding my phone? That's because we have wireless charging down here. As well, you are gonna have a USB and USB-C, and then we're gonna have wireless Apple CarPlay. So this infotainment screen here, it's simple to use. Google Maps, Spotify, this also will have built-in navigation. So if you click Map when you have CarPlay up, that's gonna pull up your regular maps that you're using or Apple Maps. But then if you go to the main screen, you can use that map, and that's gonna be your built-in navigation. So if you don't want to use your phone, or you want to use this system in here, which works really well, that also pairs with your digital display and will give you directions on there. Now the infotainment is great. It's pretty responsive in here. I mean, everything you would need is right at finger's reach. You've got your weather, you can put your sports stuff in there. And then again, pretty much the Apple CarPlay is all I would be planning on using. And there's going to be voice controls on the steering wheel. So if I click that button, it gives me a ton of different options and things to use. So my attention is focused on the road ahead, and I'm not messing with the screen or my phone when I'm moving around. Now onto our digital gauge cluster here. So there's a few different menus you can kind of scroll through. Your main one, your trip computer. It will also show your tire pressure in there, your music, and then the Pro Pilot Assist. So this little blue button on the steering wheel, if you turn that on, forward collision, blind spot monitoring, lane departure, all that stuff is quickly controlled with the other button on the other side. So I can go down to driver assist, I can turn on or off steering assist, lane assist, blind spot, emergency assist. It will also show you the speed limit signs that are on the road. There's a lot of really cool safety features that you can trigger on or off right through there if you want to use them or you don't. One other thing, adaptive cruise control. That's one of my favorite features for sure when you're on the go. You set 3, 2, or 1 car length distance ahead of you. So like I said, if you're going to the cabin for a long weekend or doing a lot of highway driving, that is a pretty cool safety feature. Now with the 9-speed automatic transmission in here, you also have paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. And like I said, you've got your different sport mode, or you can put it into a tow mode or snow mode. So you can kind of tailor your driving with the 4x4 system to how you like. We have the dual climate control here, and then our quick heated seat buttons. So it looks nice, but it is freezing cold today. So I got my heated seat going, and if I turn the car off and I remote start the vehicle on my key fob or turn it back on again, I will have the heated seat memorized to where I left it. You also are gonna have a heated steering wheel. So when you turn that on, the heated steering wheel heats up really nicely. And again, absolutely one of my favorite features that comes in the SL model. So this will also get the push button start here on the dash. As well, you can click that camera button. So this one does have that 360 surround view camera, so I can see out front. It gives me a bird's eye. I can see the door on the side, and then one more click and it shows me out front. That is really cool. If you're not sure if the kids left something in the garage, or maybe you got a tight parking spot, you can click that button and it pulls up the cameras and definitely helps you out in a pinch. So a few other things here you'll notice, there's a huge storage cubby underneath. So whether you're putting your purse or anything else down there, this is a shift-by-wire system, so it's no longer the big shifter on the column or up above, so it frees up all that storage space, and then the cup holders, and like I said, the wireless charging down there. So this particular one doesn't have the sunroof in here, but you do get a lot of comfort and luxury out of the SL all-wheel drive. Now let's talk about price. So MSRP on this particular model is going to be just around $47,000 for the SL with the 4x4 system. So there is an S, SV, SL, and as well that Rock Creek or the Platinum model. So there's a lot of ways you can build the Pathfinder to fit your needs. If you don't want the leather appointed seats and the leather shift knob and steering wheel combo, you can go down to a cloth seat, or maybe you don't need all the features, you can go down to the S. So there is a lot of ways to build them out, but this one gives you a lot of goodies for the money. So let's hop over to the Nissan Rogue, we'll check that one out. All right, so now in the Rogue, again, I've got my cell phone. This one is gonna have wireless charging, but you are gonna notice a completely new display for the 24 model. Now in this trim level with the premium package as well as the SL, this gets the new larger display. It is lightning fast. I am blown away at just how good it is. Now it's got a ton of different stuff you can configure in here. You can pretty much set it up however you'd like. It's gonna have Google Maps built in, and the screen is like using an iPad. The responsiveness, it's got Google Play Store in here, Google Assistant, as well as the Google Maps. And then I've got my CarPlay already set up. So again, that's a wireless system and it works so good. The Google messaging, the Google Maps, and again, I've got Spotify so I can get all my music going. I love the layout of the screen here. It just works really well. Now, one of the other great things in here is the digital gauge cluster. So this can be found on the Pathfinder as well, I believe in the Platinum model, but it's straightforward, simple, easy to use. If I've got my CarPlay with music going, it gives me the album artwork over here on the one side. Then you can go through, you can see the trip computer, but then the next coolest thing is that if you go over again, it actually pulls up the maps in the center display. So again, this stuff is all to make sure your focus is ahead and not messing with your phone, but it is a really cool, it's really responsive and easy to use. So I think that's a huge upgrade for this SL model. Now this one also does get the heated seats, so I've got my heated seats going for the driver and the passenger as well. This is power and it will have a lumbar support. Now the dual climate control, like I said, you can control that in the second row for the temperature setting, but this makes it really easy so driver and passenger can both be pretty comfortable. Now, same difference, you can click the camera button just like the Pathfinder, but this screen I found to be even better. So if you click it once, it's gonna show you out front and then the bird's eye. Then if you click it again, it actually shows you both sides of the vehicle on each side of the screen and out front. And then you can click it one more time just to see the front. So there's a few different ways you can configure that, but when you pop it into reverse, both vehicles are also going to have parking sensors. So that makes it really easy. It shows in your center display here and then the backup camera. Parking is a breeze in both of these Nissans. Now this one gets the same shift-by-wire system here with a not quite as large, but still a pretty good storage compartment underneath, and then your selectable drive modes here. On the steering wheel, it's gonna look the same. You've got the paddle shifters, you've got the Pro Pilot Assist setup right in here, so you can click that. It's gonna show you large on the display here, blind spot, forward collision, lane departure warning, and again, the adaptive cruise control. So one thing that's a little different on the steering wheel, if you click the voice command, I can say, take me to Walser Nissan Burnsville, and it would actually pull that up into the map system, the Google Maps that's built in, and it would give you turn-by-turn directions. Again, it all comes down to safety, and Nissan has some of the best safety equipment out. So let's talk about some of the differences. These seats have a little bit more of a side kind of bolster here on the bottom, so it feels like it kind of hugs you a little bit better. It almost feels a little bit sportier, and yes, the Rogue is obviously smaller, so it's a little bit easier buzzing around and parking, but with the backup cameras, the 360 views in both, I didn't really see any problems there, and with obviously the blind spot monitoring, you can see what's going on around you pretty much at all times. I love the new built-in Google display. The panoramic sunroof for me is a pretty big one. That does make it quite nice, but obviously you can get the sunroof in the Pathfinder as well. But comparing the SL Rogue with the Pathfinder, we just wanted to break it down for you. Maybe you're not sure which one you're shopping for, or maybe you have a growing family. This one can obviously fit 4 or 5 adults pretty comfortably, where that one you can add some more people, more passengers, but there is just a little bit of a sacrifice with fuel economy, and it really breaks down to style or what you're looking for. This one's got the heated steering wheel and the heated seats, so does that one. The SL is gonna offer a lot of the same equipment, but pricing could be a big factor as well. This Rogue, again, is about $40,000 MSRP, where that SL Pathfinder goes up to about $47,000. You can find a lot of the same equipment, some of the same styling that goes through obviously both vehicles, as the grille can look the same, and just kind of the profile quick look does look a little bit similar. This one is in a two-tone, so it's kind of hard to see in the shade, but this kind of really cool blue blends into a black on the roof, and you can also get that in the Pathfinder. So overall, there's a lot of good stuff in both vehicles. I think there's a lot to like, and it really breaks down to, do you want a little more size and space? Do you want a little bit better fuel economy and maybe some technology upgrades? There's a lot of good stuff in both, and I think you gotta get out, take each one for a spin to see what you think. So that was just a brief look at the Nissan Pathfinder as well as the Nissan Rogue. Now, if you'd like any other information or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by any one of our Nissan locations. We'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching.